All right, spice bush. This is going to be pretty quick. And for those of you who've been following along on the channel, you might recognize some of this footage from previous videos. But I just want to talk about spice bush real quick. It's a really cool native plant, shrub. You know, it's a woody perennial, typically multi-stemmed. It makes these nice red berries. They ripen in the late summer, early fall. The berries are certainly eaten by wildlife, such as birds and stuff. And you know, one really cool thing about spice bush is that it grows super well in the shade, and so you'll find it as a major component in a lot of our forest systems, especially where you're, you know, somewhat closer to a body of water. And I just think they're really pretty. I like seeing them in the landscape. Shade tolerant shrubs are super cool. You know, I know a lot of folks have shady areas and are trying to figure out what plants they can grow to kind of add more diversity, add more, you know, interesting things to look at, and more habitat and food and all that. And so spice bush is a really cool one if you have a shady spot. You could add it into your landscape. The berries and seeds are actually edible. They can be dried and ground up into a spice to flavor food with. You can see how, you know, many stems some of these plants can have. Here I'm saving some of the seeds. I'm pretty sure you can make a tea from the twigs and the leaves, although I have not done that myself. So if you're going to do that, do some of your own research. But I'm trying to experiment with growing these from seed because I'd like to be able to offer them through the nursery. And basically what I've been doing is letting the seeds soak for several days, you know, let the fruit start to decompose, and then you can kind of I'm trying to push them through a screen. I think another good method that I haven't tried yet would be if you have a blender and you can dull the blades or put duct tape around the blades. I think putting them in a blender with dulled blades or taped blades would probably also work. But here's some of the seeds with some of the pulp, and you know, I planted several pots with all these seeds, and I've tried different things. Some where the seed is really clean, some where the seed's not super clean, some where I just planted the berries whole, and we're gonna see what kind of germination we get. You know, because it's a native plant to a temperate climate, these seeds do need a moist stratification. In other words, they need to experience winter time in order to germinate. So I'm storing these outside, and we will see what happens. I'll report back. But hopefully I can offer bare root spice bush plants next fall. They do flower pretty early in the year, and so they will support native pollinators, you know, at that difficult time as things are just starting to warm up. So yeah, spice bush, super cool native plant, woody perennial shrub. Real quick, I do want to add in that they can handle some sun. I mentioned that they like to grow in the shade, but they can certainly thrive when they have some sunlight, as long as they have a little bit of shade for some part of the day. You'll very frequently find spice bush growing on the forest edge in that condition where they do get some sun.